Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me. Thanks to those on archive joining me live. Let me turn off the thing here. Let me get this thing off the screen, if I may. Yep, we're going to do that. How's it going, guys? A-Rod, 83 book sale round one. This is not a usual time I come on, but I may start doing more morning videos, just as an FYI. You guys want to hit that bell button that way you're notified when I go live, and also, hit that like button and all that good stuff. But it'll make the rounds, though. I know that. It'll make the rounds tomorrow. Catch the round table for sure. That's going to be an interesting show. So make sure you catch that. Okay. And I'm following my own advice, and I'm sharing my own video on my social media platforms right now. So make sure you help me out with that and share it tonight, uncensored, on G Funky's channel at G Funky Boxing. Go ahead and check that out. Bruce Goes in the building. How's it going, Bruce Goes? How are you doing, brother? I want to talk about the Canelo Alvarez alternative reality that's out there. It's kind of strange. It's like polar opposite almost of what like reality is. It is amazing. And I've come to the conclusion that there's just individuals out here that they just don't want to like Canelo Alvarez. I mean, that's just the plain truth. For whatever the reason is, they just don't want to like the guy. They just don't like him. They will never give him credit, no matter what he does. They'll say, "Oh, he fights this guy and that guy. I'll give him credit." But will they really? Because when it comes down to it, right? I'm here. People that have been saying that they want to see Canelo step up, quote unquote step. They're saying he should step up. All right. Nobody's stepping up around the divisions. Nobody. He's doing more than everybody. But they're saying, oh, they've been saying step up against Plant, step up against Plant, right? Yeah, I mean, Plant, he's from the USA. It's different than those Euro bums. Fight him. Like, what I mean? Look, I like the Plant fight myself. I think it's a good fight. I think it's great to have an undisputed champion. People have been preaching about undisputed for years, but now that Canelo's shooting for undisputed, people are injecting their fucking biased opinions. Facts, undisputed. Opinion, you can inject whatever fucking bias you got. Let's stick to the facts, motherfuckers. Let's go with that. But okay, whatever. Oh, but he doesn't want to fight Plant. Offered to fight twice. Alternative reality, he's avoiding Plant. Reality, he offered to fight twice to him. Twice. You don't offer a fight twice to somebody you're trying to duck, right? Called him out again. Third time. Hey, let's do it. September, let's go. Canelo's the one that's active. Canelo's the one that's getting all the belts. He's the one unifying. He's the one fighting way tougher opposition. By far. This motherfucker just fought Truax. You don't see video after video, whatever, right? Now I'm hearing the following predictions. Plant should win and will win unless he sells out. Unless it's fixed. Because that's the fucking excuse you're going to fucking use. Right? If he fights Charlo should win because Canelo's a fraud and we all know this. And if he doesn't win, it's because it's fixed. Oh, it's because Canelo's not that good. It's all fixed. They're going to fix it. Did you not understand how stupid? What's going on, Guido? What's going on, Chen Smoke? Chicano Prophet? JC? Do you not understand how stupid some of y'all out there sound? Do you not understand how ridiculous you sound? Get out of your fucking echo chambers. Get the fuck out out of there and listen to other perspectives. You're listening to the same perspective day after day after day. You're getting your brain is getting fucking brainwashed. It's getting fucking like freaking like it's overcome. My God. Sit there with Canelo. Canelo don't fight nobody. You don't fight nobody. Like, what do you mean you don't fight nobody? What? Like, who the fuck's fighting somebody then if Canelo fight nobody's? Who? I don't know, Chin Smoke. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. And I look at my social media, I look at my Twitter, I look at all this stuff. What is going on? What is so hard about just giving the guys credit? William Boxing. The narratives are comedy at this point. Absolutely. And thank you very much for your support, brother. I much appreciate it. What's going on, G Funky? He says they're salty like mermaid pussy. Well, that's salty as fuck. And I smell it, and my God, I'm not even near an ocean. I'm in the middle of the desert, and I can feel the salt. I can smell saltiness. Oh, but D-Style, you don't understand, D-Style. He hasn't fought who I wanted to fight. Yeah, the guy I wanted to fight hasn't done shit either, but you know, Canelo should fight him, and so I'm gonna think you know, it's gonna be a grudge. And why all these Latinos, you know, backing up Canelo? Like, what? Just because you're Latino, you're gonna back him up? Come on, tell the truth about him. And say he hasn't fought anybody, that he's a fraud, and all his fights are bought, and he's just not that good. You guys can have a good fighter. He can't be the best. Fuck you. A Latino is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, and that bothers you too fucking bad. I don't give a fuck whose feelings that hurts. I just don't give a fuck. Do you understand? I don't give a shit. It's just the truth. All right? When Mayweather was on top of the world, was the best pound-for-pound fighter, I say, you know what? Floyd Mayweather is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport because I knew he was the best at the time. Right now, that's Canelo. Okay? That's just the fucking truth. You just need to accept who's on top of the world at the moment. There's few fighters you can argue, and you could say, nah, I disagree with that. I got this guy, you know, I got Crawford, number one, based on skills or something like that. You could maybe argue that. You can argue other fighters, but at the end of the day, Canelo is the face of boxing, like St. Cruzan just said in the chat. Okay? No, but you see, the thing is, it's just tested positive one time. Like, okay, so he's getting tested now. Well, what do you want the guy to do? Like, what? Should he be like? What do you guys want? Do you want him? Are you arguing that he should be banned from the sport? Then why are you begging him to fight the guy you want? Because you're not the only one that wants your fighter to fight Canelo. Charlo fans want to fight with Canelo. Why? Because Canelo's the biggest name. Let's stop playing these fucking stupid semantics and games. He's the top of the sport. You want that fight because it will be a big historic win for Charlo. What the fuck are you talking about? Everybody knows that. That's why you clout chase Canelo's name all the fucking time on YouTube. Okay? Triple G fans. They want the fight with Canelo. Why? Because that's just the biggest name. They're still living off of the two fights with Canelo. You got members of the media out here. Okay, you got members of the media that come out and this is what they say. They literally word for word. Okay, I think I saw Montero tweet out like a picture of Triple G. This is the guy that beat Canelo. And look at what Canelo's doing now. But like Triple G ain't doing shit though. Like, okay, insert opinion about who you think won, and then insert Canelo's accomplishments, like if that means something. Well, maybe it's time for Triple G to step up and do something. Maybe move up in division for once and fight somebody. How about that? But the Triple G fans want that fight. And if Canelo fights anybody else, they're going to say he's ducking a third fight with Triple G, right? And you have Charlo fans that think that's ridiculous. Oh, nobody wants to see a Triple G fight. Nobody. The fight to make is a Charlo fight, right? Okay, if he fights anybody, he's ducking Charlo. Like, you know, he's not even in the same division as Charlo. Why did Charlo just move his ass fucking up? Move fuck up in division then, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, just move up in division then. Like, what are you waiting for? Plants in PBC. Why didn't you go up and get that belt? Like, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? No, the fight to make. You know, and then we have some people saying it's the Benavidez fight. Oh, he's gonna fight Charlo Triple G to avoid Benavidez. Like, you know, and you got all the above people. He's avoiding all those fights. You know, he's gonna like. I know that for whatever reason, okay, maybe the specific fighters he's fighting isn't exactly who you personally at the moment don't want him to fight, but you can't deny that it's a good run. All right. Just because Billy Joe Saunders and Smith are European dudes from the UK and they're white doesn't mean that they're bums, right? They just happen to be the guys that had the fucking straps. It's like when he fought Jacobs. Jacobs had a strap. He fought him, right? That's what that means. Nobody is saying that we won't get or we shouldn't want other fights as well. Canelo's 30 years old. He ain't going nowhere. He's still going to be around. He said like for 7 years. But everybody wants a Royal Rumble. They want Canelo to fight everybody all at once. If Canelo says, you know what, I want to become undisputed. That is a goal of mine. He set that back in December. And at that time, I keep receipts. People were saying, well, he never became undisputed before. Why should we believe him now? Well, look, he's got 3 of the 4 belts. He's going to fight in September again, probably in December again. It's one of the most active years a top fighter has had in decades. Okay? When did Floyd Mayweather have 5 fights in a year? But you like even mentioning Yildirim is like ridiculous at this point. All right? But he fought Yildirim, so therefore he should fight everybody. Okay, but he can't fight everybody all at once. Like he can't fight like Andre and Charlo and Triple G and Plant all in one night. Okay? They could wait their fucking turn. Since they're waiting for the payday, since you don't believe they should fight each other, right, and make their own fucking name, then they could fucking wait in line. All right? Because nothing is stopping them from fighting. Like, I keep hearing people, why should Charlo fight Andre and why should Andre fight Charlo? Canelo should fight them. Okay, you know what? Okay, tell you what. If you're not going to call on them to fight each other, they're both champions, they're both fighters. If you're not going to put pressure on them to fight each other, and your logic is, no, it's Canelo that needs to fight them both. You know what I mean? Then they could wait their fucking turn, if that's going to be the case. Then wait your fucking turn, right? Then wait. Then you stand there and you wait. Then you're gonna fucking wait. Oh, but Yildirim didn't need to wait. Why did Yildirim need to wait? So you want Canelo to fight killers like 2 months at a time. You want him to fight like top fighter after top fighter after top fighter like 2 months at a time. When you got guys like Gary Russell Jr. fighting once a year or once every 15 months, okay? We have fighters that fight once a year. Caleb Plant hasn't fought anybody since Ustakati. Okay, like he just fought Truax and Finger Butts in a 12-month rolling year. Okay, Jamal's about to fight a fucking bum on a card. All right. So because he fought an in-betweener between 2 months, like you're making a big fucking deal about it. Canelo has a right to have his in-betweeners that is not top fighters. Chavez did it. Sugar Robinson did it. Everyone else did it. When a fighter is active, you can't use her in between, stay busy fights as some type of, like, everybody knows this. Why am I even explaining this? Andrade's not a tune-up. All right, so he's not going to fight Andrade in between two tough fights or against two top champions. Okay? But it doesn't mean his day won't come. And what I mean by that is if Canelo, let's say he didn't fight in February, like wipe that fight out of the history books. Let's say it never happened. He would have accomplished the same thing. He got, 3 of the 4 belts against 2 of the champions in the division. Right? Am I wrong? Oh, no, but the Yildirim fight has become like a catalyst for why he should be able to fight this dude tomorrow then if he fight Yildirim. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Their day will come, but the first thing you got to do is fight in his division. That's number 1, right? If you're not even fighting in his division, how do you expect to get the fucking fight? And do you really think your chances of getting the fight are going to be better if you're not fighting in the division? I mean, come on now. Look, if you're fighting twice a year, then a quote-unquote stay busy fight is bullshit. But if you're fighting 3 times in 5 months, like any boxing fan knows it's okay to have a stay busy fight in between. And the fact is, it was a mandatory. All right? Yildirim was a mandatory before Canelo even had the belt. He was a mandatory before Benavidez lost the belt on the scales. He was going to fight Benavidez anyway. I got the receipts. Do you understand? Nobody's making, nobody's making any excuses. What about these other dudes ducking each other? Nobody's fighting. All these dudes are just waiting for the Canelo payday. Canelo cannot, no matter who he fights, he's ducking somebody, right? Sorry, brother, T. White, but that's an ignorant-ass comment, and that's clearly not even what I'm saying. So if he came in late, then listen. The plant fight is for undisputed. So there could be 1 champion in the division without dispute. I don't understand what's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you understand? Unless someone can explain to me why anything else should take precedent. Why he should just not go for that. Right? Ain't nobody tell Crawford, hey, Crawford, what are you doing? Well, why are you going to go fight in Dongo to become disputed? No, Crawford. Give a lightweight a shot or move on to welterweight to get real competition, Crawford. Ain't nobody say that. I supported that. Why am I going to be a hypocrite all of a sudden for Canelo and say, no, you know what? No, not for Canelo. I don't give a fuck about Undisputed anymore. Fuck Undisputed. All of a sudden, I'm not going to care about Undisputed all of a sudden? If me as a content creator, I made videos supporting the Undisputed fight with Crawford and Ndongo saying, man, I think becoming undisputed is an accomplishment in boxing. It's a feather on your cap. I say do it, regardless of who it is, who had the belts. At the end of the day, it's an accomplishment, right? Plus, we'll have 1 champion in the division. And at the end of the day, T. White, rephrase your statement. When you say nobody cares about the plant fight, just like nobody cared about the Yildirim and the Saunders fight. I'll give you the Yildirim fight, but that was a stay busy fight. No fight. Name me your favorite fighter. He don't fight every 2 months, dude. So it's a stay busy fight. Just like Chavez had stay busy fights, and Ray Robinson has stay busy fights and all that. He's not fighting once a year, like a Gary Russell, for example, right? He's not fighting once a year or something like that. But you need to rephrase this statement, brother, right here. You're gonna have to rephrase it. You don't care about the planned fight. You didn't care about the Yildirim and Saunders fight. You don't care about the Saunders fight? 73,000 paying customers cared about that Billy Joe Saunders fight. Your opinion is null and void. You don't care about the fight. But obviously, people showed up to watch it. By definition, if people don't care about something, nobody shows up to watch it. The Plant fight is a fight for undisputed. Your opinion on the matter is irrelevant. The fact is, when fuck my opinion, fuck everybody's opinion. It's undisputed. The fact is, it's an undisputed fight. The beautiful thing about facts, it gets rid of the feelings and biases and agendas and narratives. It's narrative free. It's agenda free. It's just a fact. And that's a beautiful thing. He'll become undisputed, and without dispute, he will be the one and only relevant and absolute champion at 168 pounds. And that's just the beginning, because we still have him for another 7 years. So that means that if he becomes undisputed, then your dudes, Benavides, gets to fight for the undisputed championship of the world. Charlo, look who he's fighting. You tell me if you care about the guy Charlo's about to fight. You tell me if that's the case. If you could even name me his next opponent, right? And you could tell me that's who you want to see him fight. But he will have an opportunity. If he moves up, if he steps up, he will have an opportunity to fight for the undisputed championship. And he won't have to do, all he has to do is beat Canelo for it. He doesn't have to do the work Canelo did for it. Somebody give me the name of Jamal's last opponent. Please. I saw that J-Dub, and I know JoJo was actually pushing for that fight. He'll be fighting for 135 eliminator. That's a hell of a fight. I like that fight. Anali Jaramillo, how's it going? Afro Rican, how's it going, brother? How's it going? T. White, who is Jamal fighting next? Why are you calling him out to fight? Why do you give him a pass? Are you giving him a pass for saying that because he was calling Andre boring and nobody cares about him and all that. He said that. So when Canelo says, no, you haven't fought nobody, get the fuck out of here at the press conference. Oh, that's nonstop videos. But when Charlo says, but who he fought? He didn't fight nobody, and he's boring, and nobody knows who he is. That's cool, right? Now, we got to keep it consistent, brother, at the end of the year. Canelo will fight them all. The fights will happen. He's already offered the fight to Jamal. Jamal turned down the fight. Let's say Jamal had a good reason to turn it down, right? One could even argue, you know what? I think Jamal made the right decision. You know, maybe the fight will be worth more. Once Canelo did all the work and became undisputed, he'll make even more money fighting Canelo down the line. You could make an argument it was the right decision. But he was offered the fight. What's going on round one? How's it going, brother? And by the way, this is just boxing talk. I mean, you know, T. White has a right to his opinion. He's expressing it, you know, but if there's a disagreement, there's a disagreement. That's the way it is. Ma's going to fight Juan Matias Montiel. That's who he's going to fight. There we go. T. White, who said he's, number one, ducking anybody? That's number one. You're trying to say he's ducking. Those are narratives. That's just not true. He's not ducking those guys. Nobody said, oh, that's what you're saying. No, that's not what we're saying at all. Aren't you a fight doctor? Aren't you the guy that says that we should have one world champion and one real champion, all that other stuff, that there's one world, right? Isn't that you? If I'm not mistaken? So one world. Let's just have one world champion at 168 because there's only one world. So let's just have one champion. You know? The Plant fight's a good fight. Unless you could argue it's not a good fight, which would be your opinion. Then go ahead. You would have to argue that Charlo is a top priority. Aside from your personal opinion, you have to make an argument that Charlo is a top priority for Canelo to fight next over Plant, which I just don't see that argument. The Plant fights for undisputed. So there you go. None of these guys are doing anything but waiting for a Canelo payday. That's all they're doing. They're not fighting anybody. Plant hasn't fought anybody, and he's going to get rewarded with a Canelo payday because he has a belt and Canelo wants to become undisputed. Simple as that. Okay, T. White, so you're saying that if Canelo and Plant fight, right, and the winner of that fight, Canelo's going to have all the straps. No one else is going to have a quote-unquote claim to the throne. So who's the champion? Who's going to be the champion then? You're looking ridiculous out here, brother. Sorry. Looking ridiculous out here. The one that ducked was Charlo. He was offered to fight, and he ducked Canelo. Okay, I don't give a shit what narratives you've heard. Okay, he ducked it, and it was probably the right choice because he'll get a bigger payday down the line. But he did not want to fight when he was offered to fight. Simple as that. Phil Walker's absolutely correct. Canelo is not ducking. That is a narrative and your biased opinion being injected, and when we should be speaking facts. That's just the truth. Big Dog Willie, I appreciate the support, brother. That's number one. This Canelo's the only one fighting multi times a year. Canelo's in ducking a third fight like Fury with a contract. Canelo get mad respect from me. There you go. I agree that Canelo is, is being active. He's, like people acting like he should have fought Charlo in February between the Smith and, and Saunders fight when it's a stay busy fight after he just fought 2 months ago. It's absolutely crazy to me. Guys like Charlo, Andre, those guys will be reserved for the big fight dates. Okay? Where Cinco de Mayo weekend, September 15th, or if it's like December, I know Canelo's had big fights in December as well, or something like that, right? Those in-between fights, I mean, Jamal's going to have a stay busy fight right now. He only fights like twice a year. And he's going to have a stay busy fight. Unless you want to argue that Jamal is ducking Andre, then that's that. Well, Benavidez isn't a champion, brother. You know why? Because he couldn't make the weight, brother. A champion makes weight for his fights. All right? Simple as that. So, there you go. You clean out the division. Dude, at this point, I'm not going to address you anymore because you're clearly being biased as fuck against Canelo, brother. Like, ain't nobody but you arguing that Canelo's not going to be the champion of the division, right? Like, only Canelo needs to clean everything up like Dickstown to beat the champion, right? That's crazy talk. That's like lunacy talk, right? That's what that is. Puerto Rican rum, let's be honest, Andrade didn't have shit for Canelo. None of his recent performances have been too impressive. He hasn't done shit, but he'll get his fight, though. Like if he moves up and he's in the mix, he'll get a fight. It's just not going to happen next. It might happen next. If Plant pulls out, we don't know Canelo's going to fight. If Plant doesn't want the smoke, we don't know Canelo will fight. We just don't know. Ma was that we need to catch weights back. Did he say that? Did he really say that? He wants it back? Now, the crazy part is, you notice how Charlo called out Benavidez? And Benavidez was like, okay, let's go. And Charlo completely ducked that fight. And the argument was, well, I mean, you want him to move up and fight that big dude. And, that's why you want him to move up so he could lose. Like, well, he's the one that said he could knock him out. And don't call out the big dude then. But you want Canelo to fight the big dude. While Canelo's fighting that division, yes, he is. That's where he is. But he's winning. But like, you want Canelo to fight? Like, the whole thing's stupid, bro. No one else is being asked to fight dudes, right? If Canelo hasn't cleaned up shit yet, if he's not the man yet of the division, what the fuck are these other dudes doing? Why isn't Jamal fighting Benavidez then? Same promotion, same network, same advisor. No reason that fight can happen. Right? Period. Big Dog. Oh, yeah, Chief Funk, you remind me, but fuck Burnt Shrek. Well, there you go. Hey, I appreciate the support, brother. Chief Funk is saying he will take the fight. Look, it's hard to believe Plant turning down the fight, but we don't know yet, brother. We just don't. I mean, I'm hoping it happens, but we'll see. Right? Orlando Chavez, of course it's unwarranted. We have a dude in the chat right now, like with all these, like the level of oh man, it's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Crazy. It doesn't hold up, Chicano. It doesn't, and I don't know if it's stupidity or delusion either, or just willingly being ignorant. You know, willful ignorance is a thing too, so you got to include that in the mix. Chetsubuk, I agree that Plant will take a beating for sure. You know who else who doesn't have a problem with Canelo going for the belts? Benavidez. Benavidez said, you know what? I lost my belt. I'm no longer a champion because I lost a belt. A champion, someone in the mix should make weight. I didn't make weight. That's what Benavidez said. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Then Charlo Benavidez should fight each other. But you know what's going to happen, Fight Doctor? They're not going to fight each other. I guarantee you Canelo will fight them both before they fight each other. I guarantee you that. That I guarantee you without a problem. Sorry. He's got to take the fight. So there's a warrant out for Sheriff. Canelo Alvarez has a warrant for Plant. And once Canelo does that, let me tell you guys something, man. There's people that want him to go move up and fight Beterbiev. They want him to fight Bivol. There's people saying that Bivol shouldn't move down. He should move up to fight Bivol. That's the only way it's fair. We got people saying that fuck that. He should fight, Benavidez and he should move down and fight Charlo and Spence. Like, y'all understand? There's people that wanted to fight Triple G. Like, first, I don't understand the Triple G thing. I don't want to see a Triple G fight again. I'll go on a record and saying that, but there's a lot of people insisting whatever. That's the one fight I will say I really don't have a need for. Okay, that one I will say I don't have a need for. But he does have his fan base out there that want that, right? There's some Beterbiev fans that want, like, you guys can understand, man. You're all not going to get everything you want all at once. You just have to understand that. Hey, Benavidez and he's going to win that fight, in my opinion. But I'm looking forward to it. I'll say that. So, like, the reality is, and I feel like it needs to be said because I don't think this is being said enough. All right? I don't think it's being said enough. Now, granted, and while I kind of agree, I mean, this I do agree with. Look. In fairness, I do agree that Canelo does not need to move up. There's really no need for him to move to 175. If we still have guys he can fight at 168 and 160, I agree with that. But my point is, there's guys saying he should move up and fight Beterbiev. Like, oh, he fought Kovalev there, so why can't he fight Beterbiev now? Like, so what I'm saying is, like, no one's going to be happy, guys. All I'm asking everyone to do is the following. Just do this, all right? Understand that your criticisms for Canelo, like the next man who also doesn't like Canelo, or it doesn't have to be a personal thing, just is critical of Canelo, right? Has a different reason that they criticize him for. And the next person after that criticizes him for something completely different. Like the criticisms aren't even like the same criticisms, right? There's some people that don't even think Benavidez is a real challenge to Canelo. They think the real challenge is Plant. Okay? There's some people that have been saying he's avoiding the Plant fight. All right? They have been saying that, even though that's not true at all. The opposite's true. Canelo's been trying to fight him, right? And then maybe to you, Canelo trying to get the Plant fight, maybe to you that's because he wants that easy work. That's an easy fight for him. He's trying to get an easy pathway to Undisputed, right? Maybe that's your criticisms, and you want to see him fight a Benavidez or Charlo. That's what you want, right? And then we have some other guys out there, a lot of them in the media, a lot of them I see them on YouTube. Like, Canelo's trying to avoid that third fight with Triple G. He should honor that third fight with Triple G. He didn't win any of those fights. It's the one guy he really doesn't want to fight, blah, 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 right? That's just the way it is, right? And then you have another segment of guys that are saying, nah, the tough fight is in Charlo. The tough fight is in the tough fight's Boo Boo. That's why Canelo acted the way he did at the press conference. Boo Boo is he's a very tricky style, and he moves a lot, and that will give Canelo a lot of problems, right? So they have a different criticism, right? Then you have some other guys that are saying, all those fights are easy for Canelo. The tough fight for Canelo that he really is ducking all the smoke of and avoiding is the Beterbiev fight, because Beterbiev is going to come right at him. And if Canelo doesn't fight well off his back foot, if he's pressured back and pushed back, right? But then you have some other people saying, no, that's an easy fight for Canelo. Beterbiev is tailor-made for Canelo. The tough fights for Canelo are the guys that move. But you know what? Like, everyone has a different opinion about who Canelo should fight, and no matter who he fights, there's going to be a segment of people saying he's fighting that guy to avoid this guy, right? They're playing this game of musical chairs, right? But Canelo's the only one playing. How about these other guys fight each other? So just to give credit where credit is due, even though I'm mostly disagreeing with him, but where I do agree with Fight Doctor is, you know what? Jermall and Benavidez, there's no reason why they can't fight each other, and the winner could fight Canelo. Because that's the way it works in almost all sports, like a tournament system. Now, like an unofficial one, right? But, you beat somebody and they beat somebody, then you fight each other. Like, you know what I mean? And nobody even saying it stops there. And then, sometimes you have a triangle thing going on, and they all start, like, everybody should be fighting one another. Like, Canelo shouldn't have to be the one, right? Like that everyone expects to fight everybody, right? Now, Lou is saying heavy is the head that wears the crown. But Fight Doctor's arguing that he's not the champion. That Canelo, just like anybody else, he has no claim to the throne, right? So that's what I mean. Any perception one person has, the next person has it differently. You know what I mean? He's not ducking anybody. He's fighting the guys that he's fighting. They're not even in his division. Even Benavidez acknowledges that he understands why he's not in the mix at the moment, because he lost his belt. He didn't make weight. You don't think a champion should be making weight? You don't think that's important? And nobody's saying not make the fight. No, I believe the fight will happen. There's no reason to believe that it's not. There's just no reason. Canelo and Eddie put in the work and doing the work, says Juan Lozano. How's it going, brother? 92 AKU. How's it going, brother? Andre Rodriguez. Canelo's going for the Undisputed. So for me, there's no discussion whatsoever based on the true superior goal. And the fact of the matter is, okay, nobody is saying that the Charlo Canelo fight can't happen or won't happen. It's just not happening at the moment. Okay. That's all it means. But he's fighting Caleb Plant, who's a really good fighter, and is doing it for Undisputed. Simple as that. What's going on, OYMX? How you doing, brother? Phil Walker, Charlo, Triple G, and Boo Boo need to mix it up, period. I think the victor of that can ask for a Canelo fight. But you know what, Phil Walker, and you know what, a fight doctor, and you know what, Al Dub, Canelo's gonna fight everybody. He's gonna fight all of them. Like that's the truth. He's gonna fight all of them. I don't know if they're all gonna fight each other, but they're all waiting, sitting down with their hands in their laps, and they're waiting for that big Canelo payday. Some of them have even at first turned down 4 million because they wanted to negotiate more and got 8 million, like a Billy Joe Saunders. Hey, good for him. But at the end of the day, like Caleb Plant, I'm not gonna really hate on him if he negotiates for more money, but at the end of the day, he better take the fucking fight. All right? I'm just telling you that right now. I'm not saying, hey, don't give it a shot. Don't try to get more money. Yeah, get your money. But at the end of the day, you're going to lose. Canelo's going to be the undisputed champion. And you know what? Canelo's going to move on. And then guess what? He could still fight a Benavidez. Benavidez will be a mandatory. He's going to have to fight him. If Charlo moves up, guess what? That's a fight that needs to happen. And we will get those fights. It's just the way it is, Tony Boswell, much respect to D-Style Boxing in the chat. How's to get a new phone and download all my stuff. I'm back. What's going on, brother? I appreciate the support as always. Much appreciated. Tony Boswell, man. I appreciate everybody's support, man. For those that don't know, by the way, I have a membership, to support the channel. Just as low as 99 cents a month, and you could support D-Style Boxing. You know what I mean? So you guys can do that as well, man, if you want. But if you can't do that, that's perfectly understandable. Hit that like button, and you being here watching the support as well, and I appreciate that. All right. All right. Well, you have a right to suspect and have the opinion you want, right? You suspect that Canelo will duck Alvarez, right? All I'm asking for is, can we let him first become undisputed? It's good enough to where we don't need to be putting the duck label, right? And then after the Plant fight, if he fights 2 months later, I already know, like people are gonna say he's ducking people and all that, but if he fights a John Ryder, or if he fights, like a stay busy fight, if he fought in one rolling year 5 times, then 3 champions and 2 stay busy fights. Can we just not use the stay busy fights as some type of you could have fought this guy and that guy when none of these guys are fighting 5 times a year? All right? Because they could just as easily, if Canelo is quote unquote ducking guys in his stay busy fights, you know what I mean? Then what are the guys that are not fighting at all doing? They're ducking all the smoke then, by that definition. That's all I'm saying. D-Style says, Canelo did say he's not fighting any more Mexicans. Isn't Benavidez a Mexican? Well, I mean, technically speaking, we get technical about it. I mean, the answer is yes, but he is Mexican-American, right? So I haven't asked Alvarez, and I don't think anyone has ever really asked him. I could be wrong about that, but he could mean like a Mexican national, somebody out of his country, but just because Canelo said something, look, I'm not exactly like a guy that takes, what I mean? If you want to take that literal, if you want to use that, okay, fine. But at the end of the day, when the time comes, when Canelo's undisputed and he gets a stay busy fight out of the way, in 2022, I will be calling for Alvarez Benavidez fight. I will. And I do believe that fight will happen. I really do. All right. Now, I will say that if this Plant fight cannot happen, if Plant prices himself out, or he says he's getting the short end of the stick, or they're asking for too much, or I wanted a bigger ring, and they give it to Billy Joe, but not me, and whatever the case is, right? Then I don't know if the Benavidez fight happens. You know what I mean? But if the Plant fight does happen, then that's a good sign for us as fans. It's a good sign for everybody, because that means PBC and Canelo have a working relationship. So that ups the chances. The chances are even better now for Benavidez fight to happen. Canelo recently said he has no problem fighting Benavidez in the future. There you go. What were you just asking? Raider LA Boxing. Canelo is doing all the work. The Mexican is doing all the work that nobody wants to do. Typical. It's all good. You don't fear hard work. We don't fear hard work, because look, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, all I'm telling people is this. I know you keep hearing me say none of these dudes fighting each other, right? When I say that, I'm not doing what Fight Doctor says I'm doing. Oh, well, you're. What did you say? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but so I'm not saying this word for word, but you said something like, "Oh, just because the other guys are doing it doesn't mean Canelo's doing it." Like quote unquote ducking, right? Well, none of these guys are doing what Canelo's doing. None of them. Okay. So all I'm saying is this. This is all I'm saying. Okay, fine. You should be fighting each other, but since you're not, just wait your fucking turn. That's it. If you all fight each other and you beat each other, you get to the top faster, right? It's faster to do it in brackets than it is to do it, as a gauntlet. You know what I mean? Like we get to the Super Bowl faster in the playoffs, right? How many teams make the playoffs in the NBA? Anybody know off the top of your head? How many people make the playoffs? How many teams? Not people, teams. How many teams? Anybody know the number right on top of your head? Is it 16 teams? 12? I don't even know. Anybody know? 16. Okay. 16. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I think what's called I'm delayed. You know what I mean? 8 from each conference, right? 16, bro. 16. How do we get to the NBA finals faster? By everybody playing each other and they eliminate each other. Then the final two meet at, the two conference champions meet at the end. Or will we get there faster if, just imagine this for a second. Now, I understand the different sports. I just try to understand the point. Now you don't have to go over why it's different. I already know all the differences, but just understand the point. Imagine if people say, it's bullshit. Like I think if LeBron wants to prove he's the best and the Lakers want to prove they're the best, they need to beat everybody, right? They need to beat the Clippers, right? And then they got to clean everybody out. You know what I mean? And none of the other teams are pressured to face each other. Just the Lakers need to face everybody, right? And until the Lakers beat every single team, while none of the other teams are facing each other, right? And while they're playing the Atlanta Hawks, I don't even know they're good this year. I'm just using them as an example, okay? If I mention teams that suck this year, I apologize, okay? He's playing the Atlanta. He's gonna play the Atlanta Hawks next. Yeah, but they're they won their division, bro. That's why they're facing them. Yeah, but the real smoke is with the Clippers. Like, oh no, we're gonna get there. We're gonna play the Clippers. Hey, can the Clippers play somebody in the meantime? Like, no. Whoa, why do you want the Clippers to play somebody else? Huh? What are you doing, huh? Well, you don't want to face the Clippers or what? No, we're just saying, in the meantime, so we could all get to the final quicker, you know what I mean? Can you guys eliminate somebody, please, so we could get there faster? You know what I mean? So we have a situation right now where everyone wants the divisions cleaned up and everybody's preaching about how we need the best to fight the best. And, we need all these guys to step up. And Canelo isn't fighting my guy now. Why not my guy right now? What the fuck is going on right now? Okay, he fought this guy, but not my guy. But let me tell you something. What are you doing? I just saw a quote from Caleb Plant that said, "Hey, I'm built different than these other guys. My goal is to become undisputed." And it's like, man, and that's his goal, and he never unified. Imagine if it wasn't his goal, I mean, my God. Look, I'm just saying. Hawks are in the playoffs. Okay. Like, nobody accuses a team in the playoffs of ducking another team because they're playing somebody in the playoffs. In boxing, like guys get accused of ducking while they're in the process of trying to clean out a division. You know, just because he's not cleaning it out in the order that you want doesn't mean he's not doing it. He's literally going to become undisputed, and then it's not like he's going to retire, guys. Like, maybe I missed it. Did Canelo say he's going to be gone from the sport after he unifies? Did he say, "Hey, I'm done. I'm gone"? You know what I mean? So can Benavides and Charlo, while Canelo fights Plant, can they both like fight each other? That way, the winner comes out on top. You know, and we can take care of this thing, this hierarchy thing now. The same thing with Haney. Like, Haney hasn't done anything. Like, I know people don't like hearing that. Now he's gonna fight Linares. I'm gonna give him credit for the Linares fight. All right. But a lot of Haney fans, I've seen you guys, man. You guys trash Linares as a win for Lomachenko. All right. But now it's a good opponent for the Haney. Like, you need to stay consistent because then things like that come back and backfire on you, right? Like me, I have an obligation to be consistent. I gave Crawford all the credit in the world for becoming undisputed. As a content creator, like that shit's out there. So of course I'm going to give Canelo credit for doing the same thing and becoming undisputed. Of course I'm going to do that. Is that too much to ask? Now look, a lot of this and a lot more will be discussed tonight on 8CP Uncensored on Chief Funky Boxing. If Chief Funky's still there, if you could please post a link to his channel so you guys could join us tonight and we'll have a discussion and all that good stuff. Okay? I appreciate everyone who came on here and gave me their opinion. I'm not here to censor anybody, right? I had a fundamental disagreement with Fight Doctor, but it's okay. He has a right to his opinion and to express it. I just, for the most part, some things I agree with, but for the most part, I disagreed with what he said, okay? I give anybody credit who becomes undisputed, Aldub. But what I will say is, I don't know if it's going to sound sexist or not, but like, the men get more credit because there's more competition and a deeper pool of talent than the women, but they still get, no doubt about it, they get credit. There is the link. So y'all click on that. Phil Walker, what's up? Orlando Chavez, 92 AKU. Everybody, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate those are starting to come in. I understand. Hit that bell button so you're notified in the future when I come on live. I'm going to try to do more morning videos for you guys. Hit my like button, by the way, if you like the content. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, you can press the thumbs down too. Like it's all good. It lets me know how, for the most part, how you guys feel about it. I don't disable the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. You know what I mean? So nonetheless, it showed me that you care one way or the other. Right. This is D-Style Boxing. Shout out to D Hodges, Tony Boswell, everybody. Keep it boxing. I'm out.